Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Israel in Asia. Today we're going to talk about true Israel. So the title, True Israel, meaning that there is a false Israel and there is a true Israel. If you go back to some of my previous presentations, you will see that there are some contradicting in some of the books that I read where it shows Jews persecuting Jews, or Jews starting the Spanish Inquisition to persecute Jews, or Jews putting other Jews in slavery. So hopefully you see the difference between the two Jews that they're out there, because there's a false Jew and there is a real Jew. Also, I hope you understand the different definition of anti-Semitic does not mean anti-Jew. It just means anti-black, white, Asian, all kinds of other people. Bottom line, it's never been about anti-Jew. It's always just been a name used to gaslight us all so that they can put fear in us and make it seem like that we shouldn't talk about it to keep us from talking about it. But we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Okay, so as we know, the reason why this confusion can even be possible is because the fact that people don't know where the Jews went. Some people were trying to figure them out. However, the Bible is full of prophecies. I am not using as much scriptures in this one, so sorry for those that prefer to hear scriptures. I'm just using a narrative of true facts to help you understand that scriptures already confirm Deuteronomy 28. The Jews will be sent to slavery, and then you have, they will be sent around the world to all the nations in Isaiah. So bottom line is, I know the scriptures to know that these facts are confirmed within the scriptures. But did the Jews go to Asia? Did they go to Russia? Did they go to Europe? Or did they go to America? Fact is, they went to all these countries. They did go to America. Native Americans, yes, and Hispanics. Those are Jews that evaded, left, and Ezra's. We also have Jews that went up into Europe. We have Jews that migrated to Asia, and we have Jews in Russia. Hence, you will see later the Russian icon photos and pictures that are taken down. So Jews in Israel migrated. But let's talk about the Jews in Israel. Jews are the northern tribe, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. The southern tribe is all the other 10 tribes. Oh, no, southern tribe, the northern tribe. I'm so sorry. The northern tribe is all the other 10 tribes. So in order for you to understand the whole Bible in general, the whole Bible is talking about the 10 tribes, or the 12 tribes coming back together. The 10 tribes, which was the northern tribe, all fell off, went into idolatry, went into paganism, started mixing with other people, and became a cake not turned, which it says in the Bible. So now that we know the difference, so this is key, because if you don't know the difference between the northern and southern tribe, you will not understand the scriptures. But northern tribe went off, and if you look at the map below here, you will see that the northern tribe, when they went off, they went into captivity extremely early in the they were the first ones to go in captivity. They went in captivity in Syria and Babylon. They went to Media. So in Nineveh, if you go to Tobit, the book of Tobit, it's talking about Naphtali. That was a tribe of Naphtali in Nineveh. So, and then you had Jonah going there to prophesy, and guess what? They evaded, and where did they go? Media. So they started going over to the east. They started going east. So that confirming they going over into Asia and Russia and some of Europe. So they started going east. Did all of them go back? Absolutely not. So then you had Judah. Where did Judah go? They went down south, and they went over to the west, and they went to Africa. So you have these tribes, and when northern tribe went off, who was their closest neighbor? Let's look at the map here. The kingdom of Ammon, and you have Moab right below them. Oh, that's the Chinese and Japanese. Do you think they might have possibly mixed with them? Hence the reason why northern tribe look the way they do? I believe they did. Oh, hey, look at that. That's that word Ashtard over there. And a bastard would dwell in Ashtard. That's pretty cool. See, I'm just pulling up scriptures right now, but the bastard would dwell in Ashtard, which is up in Israel, and that's a scripture that's talking about the bastards, which is talking about the false Jews. That's why they call them a bastard, which you're about to see in a few seconds. So y'all see Ashtard right over there? Let's check it out. Let's see where we're gonna see that word at again. So the point of this presentation is to talk about the real Jews and the fake Jews. Now, I want everybody to understand Hitler did some horrible things. I'm not a supporter of Hitler, but I do know that Hitler wasn't an idiot. The man knew what was going on. The man has Ishtar Gate up in Berlin. The man has the seat of Satan in Berlin. The dude knew his history. He knew who the Israelites were. Ishtar Gate is from Babylon, and the seat of Satan is from Turkey or from Pergamon back in ancient times. Those artifacts are currently in Berlin in a museum. You can go there yourself and check it out. So the dude was not unlearned about biblical history. Bottom line. Now, let's see what he says in this book. Now, Hitler is appraising a German movie in this document, and the Nazis are sitting there watching it, and they are analyzing and a complaint about the film, calling it anti-Semitic. Now, like I said earlier, anti-Semitic is a word that was given to us by the fake Jews to say that was anti-Jewish. No, anti-Semitic, that means he's saying it was anti-white. So you don't use that word. It was just basically, it was basically not Israelite people or non-Jews. So at the bottom here it says, in one segment of a Nazi instructional film, the generic heritage of the Jews is probably traced to Oriental. So you got Oriental, Negroid, Near Asian, and Hamitic people. Hence, the film concludes the Jew is a bastard. What Jew is he talking about? He's talking about the fake Jew. The fake Jew that were currently in Germany were considered bastards to him. What a coincidence that he called him a bastard. And Zechariah 9:6 says, and a bastard would dwell in Ashdod. And if you go back to the last slide, you will see Ashdod sitting right in Israel. Now, so when he said they were Negroid, Near Asian, and Hamitic, he pretty much was saying they were dark. And guess what? He knew that some of them were mixed with Moab and Ammon and the other nations and some of the Arabs. They were mixed. So he knew one thing they weren't is that they weren't white. Does the Bible confirm this? Yes, it does. Judah mournings in the gate thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Now, have we ever seen red dirt before? Now, we saw red clay, but have we seen the dirt be made as the dirt? Have you seen dirt to migrate and focus and be red or white? Never. Dirt has always been, and the ground has always been black or brown, and black is just a new invented word. And even Job in Job 30:30 said, "My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat." So he's kind of talking about he's getting kind of dark. But he said, when I say my skin is black, I would think he would say my skin is red, white, but no, he said black. So it doesn't mean mourning or nothing like that. It just means exactly what it says. It was black. Now, this is an old document. Still don't know where it came from, but it does give some hints that Hitler was very clear on what was going on because he knew what he was doing. And how factual is this? I cannot confirm. Hitler said even in his death that he will start World War III. One of his soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, "The day mankind find out what I was trying to defend this nation, Germany, from, then that's the day World War III will start," which almost sounds like it is about to start. "For on that day, mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the Freemason, the Illuminati, and the Jews." Oh, the fake Jews, the one he just called a bastard. "For if the Americans win the war, then they will conquer the world and forever be a slave to the Jews. They will try to conquer God." That don't make sense. The Jews trying to conquer God, that's like the same contradiction we talked about in my last presentation. Why would Jews try to conquer God? That's the fake Jews trying to conquer God. "Do you know who America has in its possession?" "No," the soldier replied. "The Americans have the jewel of God." "The Americans have stolen God's precious jewel." "What do you mean, his precious jewel?" the soldier asked. Hitler said, "America has stolen the Jews of God, his jewel. The Negroes, they are the true Hebrew Jews." Well, maybe I could be lying. Maybe that could be fabricated. Don't know. However, as we was talking about, did Israel go to Russia? I guess they did, because some reason they published this book with these pictures in it of them painting over all the icons and the artifacts of all the Christian art, or the biblical art that was in Russia, and whitewashed it. Why would they do that? Why would they change the color of the one living God and this people? And who are these people carrying these black artifacts? I'm kind of confused. This don't make sense. You know, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. It's just matter that they just change the color, and so they can make it like so they can accept him, and and lie and tell everybody that it is, so that later on you be so freaking Stockholm syndrome and gaslit that you will sit there and defend the fact that it doesn't matter what color he is, because a liar, a person that changed the color of God, doesn't that doesn't mean anything. He's still a great man, isn't he? You think that? I'm sorry. You might as well just cut this video off because you're an idiot. 1 Maccabees 3:48. It says they lay open the book of the law with wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of his image. So the Bible actually talks about this. What a coincidence. So you trying to tell me the Bible could figure out all the prophecies? Guess it can. So to even prove it even farther, they actually wrote their own books. If you put something in the book for Israelite, most Israelites will not read it. And by the way, we were told not to read. So they wrote it boldly because they were like, these fools don't read. They too ignorant. So yeah, they wrote it down. So prove all things with scripture. So let's just read these books. It says the 12 secrets of the Caucasus, the empire of the Jews. This is talking about these Jews that Hitler was talking about just a second ago. It says these race, of course, hardly any relationship to the real Jews. Really? The mountain Jews are a self-contained Caucasian race leading the life of all the Caucasus race, but not mingling with others. So they were trying to be like the other real Jews, and possessing a few, if any, many customs which are peculiar to themselves. They have long ago forgotten the former glory of the Kaiser's dominations. Life now has a primitive people primarily or principally consisting of literates or who, I don't know what the rest was, but bottom line is it says that they had no relationships, hardly any relationships to the real Jews. Point blank. That's all that matters. But since this content is not that strong and I only got that page, let's look at this book. This book is called Who is Esau Edom? The Khazars, and there we go again, the Khazars again, it's those guys, were a nomad people who had no traces of Hebrewic culture. Now, they think they kind of were, like I said, they were Semitic, and Semitic is kind of Hebrewish, but let's keep reading. They had been following a pagan and sex-oriented religion until they had officially embraced Judaism. Oh, they embraced it. They weren't born it. They converted. And then when did they convert? Oh, they converted in 740 AD. While rejecting Christianity and Mohammedanism, the Jewish author and historians also concluded that the majority of the Eastern Europe Jews, and hence the world Jewry, is of Khazar and not of Semitic origin. In the beginning of this book, he says, a large majority of the surviving Jews in the world is of Eastern European, and then thus perhaps mainly of Khazar origin. If so, this would mean that their ancestors came not from the Jordan, but from the Volga, not from Canaan, but from the Caucasus. There go that Caucasus again, and that genetically they are more closely related to the Hung and Miyar tribes than to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when you do read the scriptures like Revelations 2:9, and I know the works and tribulations in poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. It's starting to be a little clear now. All right, and it said it twice in Revelations 3:9. Behold, I've made them of the synagogue of Satan, which says they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. How do they lie? Oh, they painted themselves and changed all the images and whitewashed them. And behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay, let's see how that goes down. But one thing I do know, I think they just said it themselves. That's not my words, just they wrote that. And then the Bible confirmed it. Here's another book. I mean, let's just go back to since Hitler knew something was up, and Hitler wasn't an unlearned person. Did this yellow Perel explain anything? Well, first of all, just like highlighted right here, it says in Japan. Now he's talking about Japan. Why were you talking about Japan? I thought all the Jews went to North and South America. Oh yeah, they did go to Asia too. Okay, cool. All right, let's see what's happening here. So in Japan, the work of the genetic. Okay, so we're still talking about genetics. Subdivision is even easier for the Jews. For he knew, for the Jews are not a white race. So he's basically saying like these Jews aren't white. So when we go to Asia, we can kind of figure out, try to look at who's who. So he knew they weren't white. And he says, although they may enter the country in a jest of American businessmen or members of the American Army of Occupation, they have not hesitated to assuring the Japanese of their hatred of the white race. Wow. So they knew they weren't white, and they knew they didn't care for the white race. So they knew that they weren't looking for white people. Bottom line. Those were not the Jews. Now, let's talk about this Germany thing again, because it's just happened to be on this page. Now, it says, while yelling in 1939 to 1942 for the war to punish the Germans for disrespect to God's race, okay, so that's the Jews he's talking about, seemed unobtrued that the wicked Germans were then examining 20,000 Jews a day, exterminating, I'm sorry, 20,000 Jews a day, as the Holocaust would have us believe. So did it happen or did it not happen? Of course, the Jews were then unobserved because their fellow tribesmen were swarming into the United States from Germany at a very satisfactory rate, and naturally knew nothing about the great hoax. So you're trying to tell me they escape and evade? They really didn't get killed? Okay, that's different. Maybe you should have go look that up. So, bottom line is, they claimed that the Holocaust was a hoax. And even at the bottom, they said, well, 6 million people from the holy race exterminated in Germany, but according to Babylon, 100 million Jews were killed in Babylon. And that was just Babylon. We haven't even talked about the Spanish Inquisition, but let's talk about that next. So the Spanish Inquisition. Spanish Inquisition, billions of people were killed. Spanish Inquisitions would start the slave trade. So that's when they started burning people, converting into Judaism, or to Christianity. That's when they whitewashed all the artifacts and said you will serve this God, Caesar Borgia, or they kill you, and they put your kids in slavery. But if you notice that all the people that was persecuted, because they used the religion against the people to persecute them. So if you were keeping the commandments, they persecute you. If you was doing anything that was according to God's law, they killed you, or they persecuted you. But if you notice all the cases that's highlighted here, every one of them, it says Negro. Interesting. So we know they were black. They sure weren't white. But did they look like anything else? Let's see. So we talked about the northern tribe and the southern tribe in the beginning of the presentation. Northern tribe went off. Northern tribe was near Ammon and Moab. Northern tribe intermixed with Moab and Ammon and Arabia and all these different, in Elam and all these different nations. But they still knew who they were. So when they did mix with these people, they knew who they were, so they looked like different people. So when they migrated, why would they migrate east? Maybe because they look a lot like them now. So people that keep saying that everybody went into Africa, I'm sorry, you're not following the scriptures. The scriptures say they went to the four corners of the earth. You keep saying it, but then you follow up with saying, but they were all in North and South America. Don't make sense. This book even is used by many camps. And it's talking about the Jews, that the Jews were a tribe of Asher, were also founded in Africa, were the founders of Afghanistan, and that's and then Indos into India. Hence the Jews of India today, from the mouth of Indos down to the west coast, while Manasseh settled in the border of China and Tartary. And 5 centuries later, they spread all throughout Asia. So now we talking about a different feature. So they were in Japan looking for them. The complication was not that they knew they weren't white, but they also knew they weren't black either. They weren't just black. They were dark because they come from a dark seed, but they knew they mixed in so much that they started looking entirely different than they used to, because they were mixing and intermingling with the Asians. So we're talking about the tribe of Asher. And the thing is, they did migrate, Asher and Manasseh, is one of the 12 tribes, or one of the 10 tribes of the northern tribe that migrated and fled into Asia. So now that they fled into Asia, here's a book just happened to be talking about ethnology, and we're talking about the Jews. The bottom first page, the Jews, or the blue Mohammedans. Mohammedans means they converted to Islam, and they called them the blue Mohammedans. I'm researching that, trying to figure out why they use that name, but that's just what they call them, as the Chinese called them. Were formerly numerous, but are now reduced to a few hundreds, mostly centered in Kaifengfu, capital of Henan. They claim descendants from the tribe of Asher. They go to the tribe of Asher again. So they sort of seem like they migrated into Afghanistan and then over into China. So some of the tribe of Asher went to Afghanistan, then eventually over to China, as the book just said. And they said they reached into China in the Han Dynasty. But they have forgotten their language, and a few rabbis who can still decrypt the Pictic language and pronounce the Hebrew word Chinese fashion, so that Israel became Yasalian. But nobody understood the text, and their traditions have got so confused that they believe Mecca in Media to be their holy city. Why would they think that? Oh, that's where they went into bondage. They were in captivity in Media, and they thought Mecca was the holy city because they accepted Islam as their faith, and they started to accept that as where they were from. So let's confirm that. How is that so? Here's a book from Babylon to Timbuktu. So it says the two daughters of Judaism. The offspring of Judaism are Christianity and Islam. Now history was repeating itself. The proponent of Christianity said to the Jews, "We accept your Bible morals and ethnics. Only receive from us Jesus, the great prophet, the Messiah, of whom the prophets spoke in the scriptures." Meaning they're saying receive the white Jesus. That's when they whitewashed them. Because the Jews refused, they were despised and hated because they didn't accept their Jesus. They only accepted the true Jesus, and by the way, the commandments. Now Muhammad tried to construct his religion as closely as he could after the Jewish religion. He favored the Jews by accepting many of their laws. So he accepted more of the laws and traditions. When a few Jews refused to be converted, he commanded his followers to stop turning to the holy city of Jerusalem to pray, but rather to turn to the city of Mecca. Oh, he changed the Jews Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, and the or fast day, which he had accepted for the month of Ramadan, and Muhammad changed the Jewish Sabbath from Saturday to Friday. We have another parallel with Christianity. In the 4th century, the church changed the Sabbath to Sunday and reorganized its calendar to make Easter separate from the Passover. Like Christianity, also Muhammad included in its Bible, the Quran, accusations concerning the Jews. Nevertheless, the Quran glorified many biblical personalities. So just like these guys over here that's in this book, Asia, they said they were confused and they believed Mecca to be the holy city because they actually, that the Muslims or the Islam convinced the Jews that they don't turn to Jerusalem, but they turn to Mecca. That's when the change happened. However, if you see the pattern, the books are all lining up, showing that these transitions happen. A lot of people that were actually Israel were actually Muslim. The true Israelites were never, ever white or red. And like Hitler said, they were Near Asian, Black, Hamitic, or Oriental. Those were the features that was provided. Please stop saying only Hispanic, Black, and Native American. Native Americans just coincidentally look like they're Asian sometimes. And I'm not saying Moab, Ammon, or Israel. Hell no. I am saying there's a remnant, a large remnant in Asia, and most of the tribes that we're trying to get to are the northern tribe. If we want to speed this bad boy up, we might need to start talking to people over in Asia. Get the message out so that they know they're Israel, not Moab, not Ammon, not Japheth, but Israel. Just like these guys had a complication trying to find it, we're going to have the same issue. The goal is just to get the message out and help them understand if this word bear witness with you and you want to keep these commandments, you're probably Israel. Let them worship, let them keep the commandments, and let's get this bad boy moving, because guess what? We need to hurry the hell up. But one thing we do know is Esau, and as the book said, the Caucasians, the whites, were never, ever Israel. They said it themselves. Well, until next time, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope this was a lesson learned. I hope you get it.